A SAGE program benefits from taking the time to engage students in the experiential learning practice of intention, or inviting them to deliberately anticipate how they will learn from their experiences. The goal of any study abroad program should be to help students have experiences that change the way they see themselves and the world around them. Setting students up to have these meaningful and transformative experiences requires helping them to intentionally anticipate the experiences that they will have while studying abroad. This intentional approach is not only about getting students excited to visit a historical site, attend a play, or engage in a cultural event. Structured anticipation is also about enabling students to acknowledge and be open to revising the personal and cultural assumptions they inevitably bring to their study abroad experiences. Structured anticipation should help students prepare to make connections between their experiences and program learning outcomes. Preparing students for an experience by helping them perceive it as an opportunity to change their assumptions about themselves and the world around them enhances their investment in the experience. They see themselves as co-creators of experiences rather than as passive participants. This principle of intentional anticipation can be seen in the experience of a SAGE program participant whose program directors helped her deliberately prepare for her visit to the Sikh temple, or Gurdwara, in London's Southall neighborhood.
When we began our anticipatory class discussions prior to visiting the Gurdwara, I became more conscious of my predisposition to be closed-minded towards participating in and learning about other religions. As a result of both our pre-class readings and discussions, I felt intrigued by the potential ways in which visiting the Gurdwara would challenge my assumptions, the ways in which this experience might be a transformative rather than just a novel one. In class as well as on our own time, we read and discussed the Sikh religion. I began to recognize the value of Sikh beliefs and practices and was surprised by how much they resonated with my own beliefs. I looked forward to learning more. This anticipation helped me to know what to expect and how best to physically, mentally, and spiritually engage in the experience. Our directors intentionally prepared us for the visit to the Gurdwara by encouraging us to connect this visit to our program learning outcomes of curiosity and creativity. We anticipated our visit by discussing everything from the basics regarding what to wear to the Gurdwara to the more consequential aspects of the Sikh religion, such as the lifestyles and practices of its adherents. This new attitude about Sikhism was unfamiliar to begin with, but became increasingly natural with practice and repetition. Through our intentional preparation for our visit to the Gurdwara, I specifically became more curious about Sikhism's beliefs about providing seva, or selfless service through langar, the practice of preparing and serving a free meal to anyone who wants it, regardless of their religion, caste, gender, economic status, or ethnicity. Upon arriving at the Gurdwara and engaging with our hosts, I was reminded of our preparatory measures both in and outside of formal class time. I wasn't taken aback when asked to remove my shoes and cover my hair upon entry to the Gurdwara, because we had discussed this portion of the experience beforehand. I was ready and open to the idea of participating fully in langar, the meal provided so generously to us as guests. As I participated in the langar, I began to see the value in and principles of generosity exemplified through the practice. Sitting knee to knee with classmates and strangers, eating a selflessly prepared meal, I felt a sense of belonging in a completely new and almost foreign environment. Our intentional approach to learning about seva, langar, and other dimensions of Sikhism prepared me to recognize through reflection the value of another religion's commitment to and expression of service. I realized that my own religion didn't have a monopoly on service and that I could learn a lot from our Sikh neighbors in London. This open-mindedness allowed me to take charge of my own experience and become a co-creator rather than just a passive participant in my experience at the Gurdwara. I was able to see how my anticipatory efforts increased my overall investment in the experience. I witnessed myself and my peers transform from having narrow predispositions about an unfamiliar religion to having wider, more curious mindsets. After returning from Southall to the London Centre, I realized how critical the anticipatory conversations we had inside and outside of class about the Gurdwara and other program experiences were in creating a culture of curiosity amongst us students. Our intentional preparation for the visit enabled me to reflect meaningfully about what I had learned from my experience at the Gurdwara.
SAGE challenges its program directors to design learning activities that help students connect their experiences to program learning outcomes through structured anticipation. As program directors are mindful of incorporating the experiential learning practice of intention into their curriculum, we are confident that they will help students increase their capacity for having a transformative, rather than merely memorable study abroad experience. When program directors construct a framework of intention that prepares students to be co-creators of their study abroad experiences, they lay a foundation for the culminating step of the experiential learning process, meaningful reflection.